Big welcome to our 12 Days of Christmas. Good evening everyone, and thanks a million for joining, but also thanks a million for the huge support, all the sharing, all the comments, all the emojis and the thumbs up that we've been getting over the last few nights. It's been just amazing and we really appreciate it. Again, if you want to check to see where you picked as a winner, go down through your comments from last night's video or the night before's, and again we have actually responded to the winners to let them know what they need to do to get their prize. Now we're going to have a giveaway tonight. Of course we are. So again, our giveaway is a mini Christmas online floristry program. There's 6 or 7 different designs, ideal for decorating your own home, or again even to give as a present for somebody. They're all step-by-step tutorials, and again it's just a little mini course just to get you started, just to give you a little taster. So how will you win that prize? You have 3 different ways, 3 options, and there will be 3 winners. The first option is you can just say pick me in the comments. So off you go, enter as many times as you wish, pick me, and we will randomly pick one of you. The other option that you have is you can share this video, and we would really appreciate if as many people as possible would share this video, but let me know that you have shared it. Lots of people are sharing but they're not telling me, okay? So then they're not actually in the competition. So in the comments there, let me know that you have shared it once, twice, or even 3 times. Let me know. And the third option to be picked as a winner is a real simple one. Name one of Santa's reindeers. So let us know the name of any of Santa's reindeers. Enter as often as you wish. Enter using the 3 options, and at the end of this evening's class we'll randomly pick 3 names. So again, we're on decorating a door wreath. I think actually tonight I might do it as a remembrance, a grave wreath. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I've done lots of demonstrations of making the bows. I'd say at this stage you're all experts. I'd be able to give you all a job at making the bows. So the wire is going down through the frame, and lots of people are saying, Jeanette, will you show me the back of it, what you're actually doing? So that's the wire coming out through the back of the base, and what I'm doing is I'm bending it over into a U-bend, and I'm sticking it back up into the base. Do you see like that? Hopefully you can see that. And then I'm just pressing it firmly, okay? So that's all I'm doing. But I do it when it's actually on the table, and I bring the base over the edge of the table, and it just makes it easy for me to do. Because I'm going to put this one on a grave, and saying that, I use the poinsettias on my door wreaths as well. I am going to add in 3 of the little poinsettias. These are on a plastic stem, so I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm sticking them down through the base, and where the plastic stem is coming out through the other end, I'm making that little U-bend that I demonstrated earlier on, and I'm sticking it back up into the base. And you notice the way I spin it around, I'm hitting a branch here, I spin it around on the table, that always the area or the section that I'm working on is always facing me. So that's what it looks like so far. Now a tiny bit of eucalyptus here on the table, left over from one of my other displays. So I'm just going to lift up some of the spruce and just give a little poke in here, and just poke in some of the branches just so that it doesn't go to waste. The eucalyptus gives a fabulous scent to the door wreath, but also it'll dry out on the base, okay? So the spruce is going to last for ages. Don't worry about the spruce. That's going to last for absolutely ages, it will. And like I know Deirdre one year, she still had her wreath hanging on the door, and it was Patrick's weekend, and I think she had to take it off so that she could put the leprechaun or whatever hanging on the door. But that's just using the tiny bit of eucalyptus. But the spruce will last for ages, and as I said, the eucalyptus will just dry out. So next thing I'm going to do is adding in a couple of the lotus heads. So I have these already wired. Now we have got in and done a couple of close-up tutorials of wiring all of these mechanics, okay? So whether it's wiring up the lotus heads, wiring up the pine cones, wiring up the orange slices, the whole oranges, wiring up even the robins, okay? So I've done a couple of tutorials, and you'll find all of them on our Instagram page or on our Facebook page. So just scroll through the page, you know what I mean? Keep scrolling down. Now I know at the night time, I get more messages at night time. Can't find the videos, are you live yet, what's happening? You have to refresh your page, and an awful lot of you are not actually doing that. So what happens is you're on your Facebook page all day, and then you come along, you know what I mean, and you're there at 7 o'clock saying, where is the video? And you're not seeing it. And that's because you haven't like given a boost, okay, and bring in all the new stuff. So what you actually have to do is on the front of your phone, slide it down with your finger, the screen, until it bounces back up again. And do that 2 or 3 times. And what that will do is refresh your page and bring in any of the new stuff, and you should see the videos coming up then. Because that's normally what has happened. The other reason why people, I'm adding in some pine cones now. The other reason why people don't see our videos is because they're not interacting with them, okay? So again, the amount of people I meet, whether I'm out at events, even my own friends, you know, that way, and she said, God, Jeanette, I seen you wearing that pink jumper last night, that was lovely, where did you get that? And I said, God, were you watching the live class last night? And she'd say, yeah. And I said, God, you never said anything. Oh, I know, well, you know me, I don't like saying that on Facebook. So these are what we call the stalkers in the nicest possible way, okay? But the thing is, them stalkers who watch everything, but don't actually click the thumbs up, click the like, say Rudolph or Dancer or Prancer or Pick Me, they do absolutely nothing, which is fine. They're entitled to do whatever they want. But what will happen after a while is Facebook will say, do you know what? Your one mustn't like that page, because she never clicks on anything, she never comments, and she never likes anything. So what happens is Facebook won't allow that page to come up in your comments or in your feed, as we call it. So again, I encourage people is interact with us. Even if I'm doing something tonight and you're saying, do you know what? I'm not interested in that Wreath tonight. It's doing nothing for me, the reds and the naturals. It's, you know, it's boring. I'm not interested. Or I don't want to enter the competition because I won the other night. Or whatever your excuse is. But still just give us a click, give us a like, say pick me. Say don't pick me if you don't want to be picked or whatever. But just interact with us, because it does make such a difference. But also, you probably have found, the people who have been watching us for the 12 days of Christmas, do you find that a lot more of our classes, our free classes, are now coming up in your feed when you actually log in? So there I've just added in a few cones. Sometimes I've done them in groups of 3, and sometimes I've just put them in singly. And what I would say to you is don't overthink it. A lot of you overthink it, and I see that at some of the classes that we're doing. And they feel that just because they put something on one side, that they must put it on the other. Absolutely not. You can do whatever you want. And what I'm inclined to do is just spin it around on the table, and wherever my eye happens to be drawn to, as in this section here, well then that's where I add the item, you know, that way. So I don't think, oh God, like there's bigger spaces between them two and them two there. I just turn it around, and wherever my eye is drawn to, like I'm going to the outside here, just add it in, and I feel that, personally anyway, I feel it works out best. I was at an event the other night, and there was a couple of, they had ordered it in for so many people, but I think there was 2 no-shows, 2 people hadn't turned up or whatever, and they had paid for the bases. So I said, if you like, I'll actually make them up for you, you know, that way, so that they have them as spares to give them to other people up in the reception, or, you know, to decorate the venue, etc. And they said, God, yeah, that'd be brilliant. So I just got myself and Deirdre, wired up the material or whatever, and we started, as I call it, banging the stuff in, you know, that way, just literally sticking it into the base as fast as we could. And they were saying, oh my God, like, look how fast you're doing it. And I said, yeah, but watch me, I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, I'm just, you know, sticking the stuff in and hoping for the best. So I have showed you this ribbon, okay, and I nearly always put this on my grave wreath. At the moment, that's a door wreath. Nothing wrong with that hanging on your door, it's absolutely perfect. But if you want to, you can bring this ribbon across it that says, in loving Christmas remembrance. And again, it makes such a difference, and it makes it a beautiful grave wreath, okay, or a remembrance wreath. Now the white ribbon that the in loving remembrance is wrote on, that comes on a roll. But I find it's a little bit miserable on its own, but also it's very short. And I have seen some florists using it across the wreaths and talk about stretching it and pulling it, you know what I mean? And it really looks like they're being miserable with it, but they're not. Like, that is the length. There isn't really any extra leeway on either side of the writing. So what I suggest doing is adding it onto, as you can see there, I've used a piece of fabric ribbon, but like normal florist ribbon would do. Just adding it on, and I just cut that with a stapler. So there's a staple there, and there's a staple there, just where my 2 thumbs are. You can see the wires then are at the other side. And then what I'm going to do is bring the wire down into the base, one on, you know, your right hand side, one on your left hand side, and bring it across. Now, again, a suggestion is you could use this as your door wreath to take the ribbon off, okay? And then maybe Christmas mornings, Christmas Eve, Stephen's morning, whenever you decide to go and visit the grave, add the ribbon back on, and there you have your remembrance wreath. And that way then your family or your loved one is like part of the Christmas celebrations because it was on the door and now it's actually on the grave. And the last thing I'm going to do is add a ribbon. I won't use this ribbon for carrying it, okay? But it's very similar to how I use it for hanging it on the door. So I get a strip of ribbon, and I hate when people kind of like lash that around and you see the big lump of ribbon. I like to bring it kind of like, I tuck it in through the foliage until it comes out through the other end. Can you see there, right? It's actually tore on me, but you'll get it there. Okay, I'm going to have to get another one because I'm actually after tearing the ribbon, so we'll just get another strip. But you know what, it's great when something goes wrong on me, because then when it goes wrong on you, you don't have a heart attack and you say, you know, that's normal, that happened to your one as well. So again, we'll stick it through, poke it through there, right? So it's literally kind of, you know, being poked in among the foliage there. Bring the two pieces the same length. I'm just going to lay it on the table and I'm off. Look, I'm not even behind the bowl, so I have to go again. Janie Mac, having a bad night tonight. Ammonite, things are all going wrong. So indirectly behind the bowl, that's where I'm going to add this extra strip. So back poking again. Bring it through. Two pieces of ribbon the same length, and I'm now going to tie a double knot, okay? A single knot will actually do. It's not going to unravel. So there I have it tied onto the base. And now what I'm going to do, normally for the door wreaths, I leave them two pieces of ribbon long that the person can tie it onto their own door and then cut off what they don't need. But if I know it's actually going on a grave, I then tie a knot in these. I'll show you. So I'm just basically tying a double knot here at the back, okay, that I've made like a little handle. Do you see, like that? And then I'm going to cut off that piece there. And then that's the little handle for actually carrying the door wreath. And especially if you're doing it at markets, or, you know, you have a stall, or it's a Christmas market or whatever, make it handy, because it's very hard to actually get bags to, you know, send these out in, even though we actually do have bags, but it is awkward. I'm going to add the robin. I always feel I add the robins into door wreaths as well, but definitely when they're going on a grave. People have this thing about the robins or the white feathers. I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Are you one of these? Do you look out for the robin? Do you look out for the white feathers? So I always kind of feel if it is going on a grave and if the person is into that, you know what I mean, they probably will appreciate your little robin. So there he is down there among the poinsettias, the little lemon slices and our pine cones. So there is a very, very simple door wreath. Remember, for the 12 days of Christmas at 7 p.m. every evening, we have a free live demonstration class, different one every evening. And at 7 a.m. in the morning, again, we always have a top tip, which is perfect for those in the flower business. Here at Case Flower School, we train florists. We're a professional commercial training floristry school, and we cater for students all over the world. If you'd like more information, drop me an email, info@caseflowerschool.com.